Happy Tuesday to you and you and you and you and you. Um, y'all, this year is just going by quickly. I cannot believe it's September 20th already. Anyways, happy fall. Welcome to the Melanated Way. I'm Linda Antwi. We are covering 90 Day Fiance, the UK version, season 1, episode 9. I will get that ring no matter what it takes. What's crazy to me, you guys, is if you're watching this show, we talked about it in the very first and second episodes where we were like, the editing is a little bit different with the UK version. And if you guys don't know, next episode is the last episode, the season finale. And I feel like we just got to meet like Hossein. We're getting into the stories and it's going to be over already. Hey, Ray Della. Hey, girl. Hey. It's going to be over already next week. And I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like we've just fast forwarded and I feel like there are parts that are missing and I want to know more. And I know that they've already been renewed for a second season. So I'm sure we're going to see some of the same players and some new players. But at the end of the day, it's just like, oh, it's over already. I feel like it just got started and we don't really know everyone's storylines. But here we are. That being said, some housekeeping, support the show. Bottom of the screen, you can see where you can support the show via Cashapp, Venmo, PayPal at lindaissogirlie, as well as their super chat, super stickers, and super thanks available. Support the show. That being said, let's jump into Sean and Victoria. So this couple is just, I don't think that they're going to be on season 2. I don't think that they are going to make it. And that's just my personal opinion. I have no receipts. I just feel like there was nothing there. There was nothing there. And there were so many lies that Sean told. And Victoria was kind of not feeling it. You know what I mean? I want to know what you guys think. Do you think that these two are going to make it? Do you think we're going to see a second season of them? Because I don't know. Something just seems off about them. So Victoria tells us that she almost broke up with him because of the lies that he told to the officials on their way back from Paris. And, they're back at their extended stay, which is a whole other thing for me because, like, where do you normally live? Like, so you took out 90 days of your life to stay at all these hotels and extended stays? Like, I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me. So they're back at the extended stay. He's watching Border Control Japan, and he's looking for a flight to go back to Japan because he needs to, quote, take care of some business. Well, okay, so you spent 90 days allegedly in the UK, and it's clear that things aren't working out. So now you're going to go back, and you were on this tourist visa. Okay, I could get that, but should you not have a conversation with Victoria saying, hey, these are my plans and this is what I'm going to do? She has to find out while you're looking for flights back home. That's how she's finding out. Seems weird to me. So she asked him, are you going back to Japan long term? And, she knows that he wants her to come to Japan and live with him there. And she's kind of not for it. And he's like, well, maybe you come and you stay for a few months, you see if you like it, all the things. And we already know that she has a fetish for everything Japanese culture. So I was so surprised that she was so against moving there, right? But she does have her life in the UK, so there's that. And he's like, well, my whole thing is I just want to travel the world. And so he wants to have that kind of nomad lifestyle. And that's not what she's looking for. But again, you guys, that's why I always share with you guys, like, you have to spend time with people in real life. You can be in a relationship with someone, like they said, for over a year. And then what? It took 90 days for you guys to realize that you guys aren't on the same page. He wants to travel and do whatever he does and not work and live that nomad lifestyle. And that's something that you don't want. Well, yeah, you need to have those type of conversations and you need to have them in real life so you can see if we're compatible. And I think with Sean and Victoria, they just were not compatible. So he thinks that he needs to organize some stuff in Japan and that's why he's going back. And meanwhile, she's meeting up with her friend Libby, and she's concerned because, again, she doesn't know enough about this guy, even though she spent 3 months with him. And, use your words and communicate and ask him the questions. And if he doesn't give you the response that you want, ask again until you understand. But she doesn't know where his money is coming from. And she feels like he just wants to continue to travel. And, they've been living together for 3 months and she has no idea where his money is coming from. And every time she asks him, he says, don't worry about it. Now, I've had a few conversations with a few different people. And, some people think that he's getting it illegally. Some people think that he's a trust fund baby. Some people think that, he is making it legitimately. Let me know what you guys think. Because I personally think that maybe he's like a trust fund baby. And that's why he's like, he doesn't want to talk about it. But that's not why he's not worried about money. Because Sean doesn't seem to worry about anything, really. He doesn't tell the truth quite often, and he doesn't worry about money. So here we are. So her friend is worried about it. She's like, well, it seems sketchy to me. You should really know how, like, where and what this money is coming from and where he's getting it from. And if he's not willing to tell you, it seems sketchy to me. And Victoria agrees. But all that being said, so she doesn't really trust him. She doesn't know enough about him, even though they spent a year online, a year plus whatever online, and 3 months in real life. She still doesn't really trust him because, he's lied to her from the jump and he continues to lie to her. So why would it be a good idea for him to propose? But that's what he wants to do. So he's making miso soup, which is a traditional part of the Japanese culture. And he's like, I want to make a special meal for her for a special day. So while she's out of the extended stay apartment, he's doing this. And when she gets home, he's like, come in. He's decorated. He's made this special soup for her. She's like a little bit wary. She's like, I don't know what this is about. I hope it's not another secret that you have. I hope you're not about to lie to me about something. I hope this is not a confession. Like, I just don't have it in me. That's where her mindset is. And you can imagine, like, that's not a good look. So your partner's doing something special for you and all you're thinking about is all the bad stuff that could possibly come up. I mean, that sounds terrible to me. And it sounds to me like you guys don't, I'm just going to fix my background a bit, you guys, sorry. Sounds to me like you don't trust him. And it sounds to me like you haven't, hi, Stephanie, hey, girl, hey. Sounds to me like you guys are not in a place where you should be thinking about getting married. Hey, Megan, hey, girl, hey. So he's like, this miso soup is special to me. It's special to my life. It's special to my family. Everyone in my family makes it. And his way of first proposing to her is, will you make miso soup for the rest of our lives together? And she looks at him because she didn't get it. And then he's like, well, will you marry me? And there was like a long, awkward pause. There was no ring pulled out. It was just, hey, will you marry me? And she doesn't answer immediately. And when she does answer, she's like, well, I don't know what to say. There's no ring. This is a huge leap and a huge commitment. And she's like, I know you rush into things, and I think that maybe you're rushing a little bit. And she doesn't want to, basically. She doesn't want to get married to him. She thinks it's too fast. She's worried about living in Japan, and she's worried about how he makes money. And she's worried about how she would make money if she had to move to Japan. And he's like, you don't have to worry about that. I can make all the money because in Japan there are jobs everywhere. And he says, he makes money right now through social media and YouTube, but she still doesn't believe him because he's not very active on his social media platforms. So, like, how are you getting by? Like, I just don't believe that, she says. And he's like, well, I'm also getting money from past jobs that I've done. So there's something there, you guys. And again, let me know what you guys think. If you think he's like a trust fund baby, if you think he made tons of money in the past doing something else and he's living off of that and he just doesn't want to tell her. But like, how do you enter a marriage, a potential marriage, without not having those conversations? How can you not talk about money? And how can you be secretive about where you get your money? Your partner has to know because you're building a life together. all that money's going into the pot. So like, what is the problem, Sean? Like, I don't get it. I really don't get it. So he's gonna go back to Japan, and he's hoping that maybe she'll join him at some point. But he's not giving up on her. He's not giving up on the relationship. And he's like, if she comes to Japan with me, I'll ask her to marry me again. And she's like, I do love him, but maybe this is not the relationship, right? She's gonna think about it while he's away. And what I thought was interesting with them is that they go back to London and they're there for a few days. And she's like, I need to go home. He needs to go back to London. And she felt, her gut instinct was like that they were breaking up. And he's like, no, no, no. I want to come back to the UK as soon as possible. Maybe I'll be back in a month. But what she does say is that she'll miss him, but let's have a break. Hi, Vanessa. Hey, girl. Hey. So you were with him day in, day out for 3 months, and already you want to break from him. You already turned down his proposal. You're already ready to get rid of him. You're already ready to get back to your life. That doesn't sound to me like you guys are going to have any type of extended future. Doesn't sound to me like you guys are going to make it. And between all his lies and all his secrets, in the last 3 months, you haven't advanced this relationship, in my opinion, any further along. So why would you guys stay together? So you're going to go back to being, online video game friends? I just doesn't make sense to me. So he says he needs at least a month in Japan to get his stuff sorted. And she gets him a little parting gift. It's a teddy bear with her voice in it. Those like stuffed animals that you can talk into. And so she talked into it, and it was basically, I miss you and I love you. And excuse me, Snuggles from England, I love you. That's what she put in it. Which, okay. Do you really love him though? I mean, do you really, Victoria? Because it didn't really translate. It didn't translate to me at all. And so they're on the way, doing their separate parts. They do a goodbye hug. It's a little bit awkward. They have another hug, a small like kiss on the cheek, and then a small peck on the lips. And I'll miss you, I'll miss you. It was all like very awkward. And they're trying to tell us that it's not the end of their relationship. Hopefully, they're going to continue their adventure together. And I'm going to tell you right now that I don't think that they are. I don't think that they last. I don't think that they're going to make it. Just nothing about them sounds like they're going to make it to me. If you guys feel differently, definitely let me know in the live chat, or let me know if you're watching the replay. On to Emma and Hossein, which is so weird. We're in episode 9, and like I told you at the top of the show, episode 10, next week's episode, is the season finale. So we're just meeting Hossein now. We're just meeting him now. And the simple fact that we're just meeting him now and they already don't have their shit together, everything was just so weird with the two of them. I don't think that these two are going to make it either. So Emma says that they're back on track with Hossein after not speaking for a few weeks. And she's packing for Turkey, as well as she's bringing her daughter with her and her daughter's friend, which I thought was interesting because we never really talked about it. So y'all are coming, and I get it because they're planning to get married, so you want to have your family there and a friend there. Okay, I get it. But Emma's feeling super nervous. She's nervous because they've never had sex, even though they've been in a 6-year long distance relationship. And she's worried that if he doesn't show up, she doesn't have a plan B. And she's looking for not only a solid commitment from him, but she's looking for love and affection from him. And so they're on the plane. She's with her daughter, with her daughter's friend. They land in Turkey, and she hasn't seen Hossein in 3 years. So you can imagine they've only met one time. Allegedly, they've been in this relationship for 6 years. And this is their second time meeting in real life, and they're supposed to get married. Oh, Vanessa. Vanessa said, I finally had to turn on closed captions for Emma. I couldn't understand her most of the time. Aw. So they're at the airport. She's stressed out. She's got these like two braided ponytails in her hair. She's like trying to be like super casual. Obviously, it was a long flight for her. Um, and she's worried because she's looking around the airport. She doesn't see him. She doesn't see him. She finally sees him. They hug. But it was like, this is the part that everyone's talking about because they hug. But then her daughter, who's had all the reservations about Hossein, jumps on him. She puts her legs around his waist. And you know what? I was going to post it and I think I forgot. So just give me 1 minute because I think that I do really want to show you guys this. Because if this is going to be your, what is she going to be? His stepdaughter? I don't know. It's a little too close for comfort. And even looking at it, you could tell that Emma was a little like uncomfortable with what was happening too. It was just a very awkward situation. Did anyone else think it was awkward? Because I just thought it was really, really awkward. So let me do this. I'm going to add it to this drive so you guys can see it. I know that Joslo is not in the live chat right now, but Joslo loves pictures. So if she watches the replay, I know she'll appreciate this. All right, hold on, you guys, 1 sec. Let me see if I can get this happening here. Yeah, Carol said I found it very awkward. Okay, so share a screen. This one. And this one. Let me just pop this up. Let's see if that works. Yeah, it did. All right, here we go. So that's Emma's daughter and Emma's fiance. So, I mean, for someone who had all these reservations, why are you like up on him like that? It's just very weird. It's very weird. But maybe they do things differently in the UK. I don't know. But it was like an awkward moment. And then the mom, Emma, gets weird and she had a weird look on her face looking at her daughter jump on her man like that. Because remember, Emma and Hossein haven't even really kissed. They haven't had really any like romance or special times together. So, it was a bit weird. It was a bit weird. So the daughter jumps off of him, and then Emma re-hugs Hossein as if to wash that part away, to be like, hey. Missy says, no, we don't here in the UK. And Vanessa says, I was uncomfy. More connection here than with Emma. Facts. It was just a weird moment. And then Emma tried to like clear it up by like re-hugging him. It was like a whole weird situation. So they head off to the hotel and they're staying at a Holiday Inn. And we find out that he's a mama's boy, which, we're used to in this franchise, a bunch of mama boys. But he's taking it. Listen, you guys, we didn't learn a lot about him and we're just meeting him in real life in this episode. But the first thing he does when he gets to the hotel is he asks about where the gym is. And you can already tell that this guy is like totally into himself. He's totally into how he looks, his physique, his body, the training, all of that stuff. And that permeated throughout their segment. Like, he doesn't give a fuck about Emma, in my opinion. He cares all about himself and how he's going to better himself, which, it is what it is. But that's how he came across. So first thing he wants to know is where the gym is. And he's like, oh, when we get in the room, I also have to call my mom. So she's like, well, he's more interested in that, like in the gym and his mom, than with her. And I agree. You haven't seen this woman in 3 years, and all she gets is like a tap tap hug. You know those tap tap hugs, and that's it. No hand holding, no kissing, none of that. And I get he's Muslim and I get the culture, all this stuff. But even behind closed doors, while you guys are in your hotel room, you're not showing her any type of attention. I mean, what? So they get to the room. He jumps on his phone right away. He has to call his mom. His mom is very important to him, he says. And they talk, or she calls him 2 to 3 times an hour, you guys. 2 to 3 times an hour? Do you have a job? Your mama's calling you 2 to 3 times an hour, and if she doesn't call you, you call him, you call her? 2 to 3 times an hour, not a day, y'all. I'm not saying 2 to 3 times a day. I talk to my mom often, probably like at least twice a day. But 2 to 3 times an hour? 2 to 3 times an hour? Oh, wow. Okay, so he can't reach his mom, and so he's like all worried about it. And she's like, all you're doing is thinking about your mom. You're thinking about the gym, right? Missy says Muhammad and Danielle vibes. And she's like, all you're thinking about is your mom. Like, are you going to pay me any type of attention? Are you going to pay any type of interest? We haven't seen each other in 3 years. And you haven't even glanced over at me. Like Vanessa says, he barely sees him making eye contact with her. None of that. And so she's like, you're more worried about your mom. And so she asked him, like, are you happy? Are you happy to see me? Because, you haven't kissed me. They've never had sex. And here they are, they're about to get married, but they've never had like any real type of intimacy. And she's worried that, like, are you not attracted to me? Or do you not want to be with me? Like, what is it? What's going on? And I would have those same type of questions, because you guys, he looked like he was just there, and she happened to be there, and they happened to be sharing the same space. There was no like connection. There's no spark. There's no vibe. There was none of that. And so, I mean, you guys know, we know this 90-day franchise very well. This is a green card situation. Like, he doesn't give a fuck about Emma. He cares about, oh, am I going to get, my visa to go move to the UK so I can better my life? Like, that's what it's coming across. And it's very loud. It's very, very loud. Very loud. So it's the next morning, and he's up and about. She's still in the bed, and guess what? He's looking at himself in the mirror again. Still hasn't had sex. And, someone told me, because I was talking about this before, where someone tried to come for me because I said, people that haven't seen each other in a long time in a long distance relationship, I don't care if you've traveled for 25 hours or 2 hours, you're going to want to be intimate, right? And people are like, oh, Linda, you have to travel across the world and you'll see that you're so tired. Listen, y'all don't know me like that. I travel all the time. All the time. But if I'm in a relationship with someone and I haven't seen them forever, best believe that I want some type of intimacy. If that means I'm jumping in the shower right away and I'm taking a nap and I'm jet lagged and all the things, I'm still going to want to be intimate. If I don't do it in the minute, then I probably want to do it the next morning. But whatever the case may be, what I'm not about to do is just wake up and be like, oh, I'm going to the gym and I'm looking at myself and I'm going to do my hair and my makeup and I'm going to be cool. That's not real, you guys. And you can come for me again if you want, but that's not real. It's not real. If you're actually in love with your partner, you want to be with that partner. Facts. He doesn't even care enough to fake it. Facts. So they're going to tour the city. They're going to go get a meal. They're going to go seaside. They're going to sunbathe. And they're doing it with her daughter and the daughter's friend. But the daughter wants to have a conversation with Hossein, so she wants to take him aside and have a one-on-one with him, right? So she does that. And she asks him, why do you want to marry my mom? And he's like, well, I've loved her for 6 years. And she's like, but you guys always argue. And he's like, well, you're a child, couples have problems and different thinking. And so you don't really know what's going on in our situation. And then she's like, well, if you come to live with us in England, you can't just be arguing all the time with my mom. Like, how are you guys going to communicate? How are you going to make that work? And he's like, well, me and your mom, um, we're going to have to try, and we're going to have to try not to fight. And afterwards, we're going to like work towards having a happy life. And then the daughter says, well, sometimes you're really mean to my mom. Like, some of the things I hear you say are just really, really mean. And he says, well, you just hear the fighting, you don't hear the love. And, what you don't know about your mom is she's very nagging. Oh, wait, what? That's how you answer that question? You answered the question about how mean you are to my mom by saying that she's nagging you? She's nagging you after 6 years where you all haven't even had sex in 6 years. You haven't kissed her. You guys, come on now. Like, let's just use our common sense. Can we use our common sense here? And our common sense says this is not a real relationship. It's not a real relationship. And if you think it is, let me know. Prove me wrong. Because we just meet him in episode 9 in real life, and he's showing like he doesn't give a rat's ass about her. He's not interested in touching her, not looking at her, not spending time with her, not holding hands with her, not sharing. Plus there's the language barrier. It's just all type of wrong. It's all type of wrong. And I wish she would see that, because it's like she deserves to be happy too. But here you are, you have a man who, he thinks that he's out of her league, but he's also like, oh, but I can use her and manipulate her to get what I want. Vanessa says, I totally agree, Linda, but that assumes both are staying faithful and haven't been with anyone in months. I mean, woof. Listen, I am no relationship expert. For my Patreon subscribers, y'all already know what I'm going through. So I am no expert, but I do have my opinions. And my opinion is he is just not that into her. So her daughter asks him, are you happy to be marrying my mom? And his answer is, I'm Hossein. I'm happy. I'm always happy. That doesn't mean you're happy to marry my mom. You didn't say, yes, I'm so excited to be with your mom and start a new life together, to be together forever. He's just like, no, I'm Hossein and I'm a happy person. Okay, but that doesn't mean you want to marry my mom. That doesn't mean you're happy to marry my mom. And I love how you diverted the question to make it about you again, because it seems to be all about you right now. So it's nighttime. They're going to have a quote unquote date night. He's in the mirror again, you guys, checking himself out. And he's telling her to hurry up. And she's like, what do you mean hurry up? It takes me 20 minutes to get ready. It takes you 2 hours to get ready. And you could tell the difference, you guys. Like, he had a full on, like, I don't know what he had on, like Armani shirt and everything. Like, he just was done up. And she just was like, oh, I'm going to put my hair quickly in a ponytail. It still looked wet. And she just threw on whatever she had. But you could tell, like, there's a disconnect. There's a disconnect. Like, he's so into himself. He doesn't really worry about what she's doing or what she, like, not, oh my gosh, you know what? I haven't seen you in 3 years. You look beautiful. You look gorgeous. I can't wait to spend time with you. None of that is happening. He's like, hurry up. Let's go. Hurry up. Let's go. After not seeing each other for 3 years? Oh, Lord. Plus, y'all haven't even kissed. And then she's like, oh, he's so quiet on the date. He seems disinterested. He has a lack of affection, she says. And she asks him to hold hands, and he says no, you guys. He says no. Now, they end up holding hands for a little bit, but he didn't want to. So he's not paying her any type of attention. He's not showing her any type of affection. And he doesn't even want to, like, not verbally, but physically be around her. How is that not all red flags, you guys? How is it not all red flags? Like, the red flags are just like, hitting her in the face, left, right, and center, and she's just ignoring it. I don't get it. I don't get it. So she tries to have a conversation with him. Um, she's like, I'm worried that there's no affection here. I'm worried that you're not attracted to me. And he's like, well, I'm Muslim and I'm very private. And we just basically need to respect each other's opinions and treat each other with respect. Okay, but again, that doesn't explain to me why you're showing her no attention. Even if you can't be physically affectionate towards her, you can use your words, which you're not. So I think that's, for me, 2 for 2, meaning Victoria and Sean, no bueno. I think that Hossein and Emma, no bueno. Like, I just don't think these two couples are going to work out. I just don't. I think it's not a good look. Next up, Kadie and Alejandro. One of my favorites from this season so far. I think they look genuine. I think that they love each other. I think that they communicate and say, these are my needs and my wants. Do I think that Kadie has some hiccups in some of the things that she says? Absolutely. But I don't know. I think I give her a pass, and I give her a pass because she's just so damn adorable. But she's back home in the UK, and we didn't see her response to his family asking if she wants to convert to Catholicism, right? But she doesn't want to, which is part of what I was telling you guys about, how like the editing is weird. Like, you leave us one place and all of a sudden next episode we're somewhere totally different. Like, what happened? You reel us in and then you just be like, oh well, whatever. We talked about that last week. We're not going to elaborate on it. No, we want to know. So she says she's not going to convert to Catholicism. And she feels like she shouldn't have to. So she's calling Alejandro in Mexico via FaceTime. She asks about his parents. And she asks, are they happy? Are they still going to be okay with us getting married in Mexico? And he's like, yeah, they know you're a good girl and they know you love me and they love you and they know that we love each other. So I think that at the end of the day, they'll just be happy for us to be married. So he's going to do all the planning because the wedding is going to be in Mexico. So he's planning the wedding, and he tells her, like, we're going to probably have about 100 people there. And she's like, oh, plus the 5 British that she's bringing with her. And, the next time she sees him won't be for a few months. And when she does see him, it will be their wedding day or their wedding time, like for them to start to get married. And so in the meantime, her and her nan are learning to speak Spanish because she wants to be able to communicate with his family, as well as when they have future kids. She wants them to be bilingual, which I thought was really great because you don't see a lot of that in 90 Day Franchise, where the foreigner speaks a language and the local tries to learn the language. You don't really see that very often. It's like 1 in a billion. So her nan and her are online, and this was just all very funny, you guys. So her nan and her are online. Her nan's like, yeah, I spent some time in Spain. I learned 2 words. I know how to say hola, and I know how to say gracias. And I just died of laughter because I think her nan is hilarious. I also feel like, oh, you're trying to say you spent all this time in Spain and you just know 2 words. So they get online. And the guy's like, okay, so the first thing I want you to say is, what my name is, right? Me llamo Leo. And she's like, oh, me llamo La. And she's like, wait, what? Me llamo La. I was like, oh, Lord, they're going to need a whole long session. This is not going well. Then he's like, oh, let's try what's your name? Como, what'd she say? She said, Como le amo. Oh my God, so funny. And then Kadie's like, let's just break it down. Let's just go to what I need to know. I'm going to be in Mexico. They're going to say a bunch of words in Spanish that I'm not going to know, but how do I say I do? And he's like, excepto. Listen, as long as she knows hola, gracias, and excepto, she's going to be good to go for the week that she's there in Mexico. You guys are just, I think maybe some people just don't pick up languages well. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but this was outrageous. So Nana Liz is like excited, and she shares a little bit about her life journey, that she's been married for 51 years. God bless you. All you people that are married for all those years, God bless you. I really feel like you have to meet your person when you're really young and then just grow together, because this single life, you guys, right now as adults sucks. It sucks. Trust me. This is from firsthand experience. Anyway, she's been married for 51 years, and she met her husband and married him after a blind date. And so she sees the same for Kadie, and she sees like a longevity and all of that for Kadie in the future. Vanessa said she kept trying to pronounce the double L was an L. She wasn't listening, or she needs to put her hearing aids. Listen, it was the funniest little scene, you guys. Like, I think that I said it exactly right, because I tried to do it exactly how she said it. Me llamo Leo. Como le? Like, it was just a mess. And both of them are a mess. The only thing they got right was accepto. I do. I accept it. Ridiculous. Okay. Calum and Marvin. I'm still stuck on this, you guys, and I'm sorry if it sounds terrible of me. Calum and Marvin are my second favorite couple on the show, besides Alejandro and Kadie. But Calum 24 and Marvin 26, I don't know. You guys, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I guess I just don't know what the 20s look like anymore. Because, you can watch any type of YouTube video and you have a 20 something doing like a makeup tutorial. But to me, she looks like she's 40. But then you'll see a 40-year-old that looks like she's 30 or 20. So, like, you just don't know how old people are anymore. But, like, these two, I mean, Calum has like flawless skin. He does look young. I don't know if he looks 24 to me, but he does look young. But Marvin, like 26, I'm shocked. I feel like you living in a beautiful island. Like, okay, don't get me started. I'm surprised. That's all. Anyways, Marvin's cooking dinner. They've been together for, a little over a week or so. Caleb's happy to be in the same space with him and looking forward to their future together. And he really just wants to get engaged. And he's surprised that Marvin has not proposed to him yet. And so he feels like he doesn't know where they stand. And so he's worried that if Marvin doesn't propose, he's worried if Marvin doesn't propose that there's no future for them. And he's worried that his mom put Marvin off, right? Because the mom has always been like, you guys are moving too fast. Like, take your time. This is too rushed. Like, why is Marvin in such a rush? All the things. So Calum is worried that because the mom has said all those things, that Marvin's not going to propose during this trip. So we find out that Marvin, he looks 36 in the face. Listen, Stevie, more than 36. Way more than 36. Facts, right? I'm glad I'm not the only one that thinks that. I'm glad I'm not the only one that thinks that, because I'm just like, how is it? What? 20 who? 20 what? Do I, like, I just, age it is just a number, but I'm just saying, like, I guess I just don't know what the 20s look like anymore. I'm not in my 20s anymore, but like, whoa. So Caitlin's mom is wanting them to wait to get married, to take their time to get to know each other. And basically Marvin's like, bump that. Like, I'm here on a mission. I can't be who I fully want to be in the Seychelles. And so I'm going to go ahead with my plan about proposing to Calum. So they go to Scone Castle, and Marvin has a big surprise. And he's like seeing Calum with his family shows him how much he loves him. He loves the fact that he has family. And when you guys remember that Marvin doesn't have family support, so that's really important to him, and that's part of what he wants. He wants to have like a family structure. He wants to have kids, all that stuff, because those are the things that he's missing in his life, and those are the things that he wants. So he has a red carpet out. There's champagne. There's champagne glasses. The castle, beautiful background behind them, lights in the trees, and he says to Calum that you're the most precious thing to me, and will you, Calum, be my husband forever and ever and ever, which was really romantic, you guys. It was really, really special. And you know, I'm not big on like all the pictures, but I should have shown you and I should have prepared for this, but I just thought about it right now. So hold the line. Please hold the line. Yeah, it was this one and this one that I will share with you guys momentarily. So both are really happy. Caleb obviously says yes because this is exactly what he's wanted this whole time. And now they're gonna have to share the news with Caleb's mom, right? And they're a little bit nervous because this is definitely not what she wanted. She wanted to like hold off and take their time. But they're both really, really happy. So they walk in hand. Marvin is super nervous to tell Caleb's mom. And so they get there, they announce their engagement to Caleb's mom, and Marvin feels nervous about it. The mom is nervous. The mom is shocked. The mom doesn't say very much at first. She's silent about their engagement. Then she starts laughing. And she's like, well, I guess, oh my God, I guess my son is all grown up now. And I guess, cheers to you both. They cheers with some champagne. But in the back of her mind, she still feels like they're going way too fast. But she's going to be happy for her son because that's her son and she wants to support him. So here you guys see the proposal with the red carpet and all of that stuff. It was very, very romantic. And, I'm happy for them. And, congratulations to the both of them. We'll see what happens next. And just for a fuller background, I'll show you guys this one as well. So here you see the castle in the background, the lights in the trees, the red carpet, the like candles and all the things. So congratulations. I do think that this couple is going to make it just because they want the love. They want to be together. And then that was it. We didn't see Pat. We didn't see what's his name, you guys? The one that's outrageous. Anyways, we didn't see some of the other couples, and next week is the finale, so they're gonna have to wrap that up real quick as well. I don't know what it's gonna look like because at the end of the day, who do we really think are gonna survive? As I said, I don't think that Sean and Victoria are gonna make it. I don't think that Emma and Hossein are gonna make it. And I might as well pop this up and we can just go through them together. So let's go through some of the couples together. So we're gonna need to see Bridie and Host, right? What's gonna happen with those two, right? So we're gonna have to see them next week, and we're gonna have to see. Well, we already saw Caleb and Marvin. I think that they're gonna make it, so I guess we'll have some closure there. Emma and Hossein, absolutely. I don't think they're gonna make it. I don't even think he really wants to be with her. Alejandro and Kadie. Megan says the show is done next week. Yeah, Megan, it's the season finale next week. Can you believe it? Don't you feel like unfinished? Don't you feel like we're just getting started? But yeah, it's the season finale next week. So I don't even know I don't know, you guys. I just feel like the editing just hasn't given us enough information. But yeah, that's it next week. So Alejandro and Kadie, I do think that they're going to make it. Sam and Pat, we don't know enough about them. Allegedly, they're supposed to be going to Greece. So, like, how are they going to wrap that up in an hour next week? Unless they don't actually meet in real life. So, do I think that this couple's going to make it? Absolutely not. Then Kathleen and Richard, that's who it is. Kathleen and Richard, I mean, the last we heard, he was in the Philippines with her. He's not even really trying to propose to her. He's trying to have her come over to the UK on a work visa on her own. I personally think she doesn't need him. I think that she's fantastic and she can do anything and everything on her own, and she can just drop that zero. And then, oh, let me see. Who are we missing that I didn't talk about? We are missing Victoria and Sean, and I already said that they're not going to last. So, yeah, you guys, it's, we complain about some of the 90-day seasons being too long, but this one, I feel like we just didn't get enough. And not that 10 episodes not enough, it's just that the editing was weird, right? Because in the UK, they're on episode 12 because they had 2 episodes more than we did outside of the UK. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know how you think things are going to end with some of these couples. Are you ready for the season to be over? Do you feel like you got enough of it? Do you feel like you understand where the couples stand? Because we have only one more hour to figure it all out. And, we're invested. Anyways, you guys, thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm still catching us up. As a lot of you guys know, I do entertainment reporting. So I do other press junkets. So sometimes the schedule can be a little hectic. So like Monday becomes Tuesday and all of that stuff. Oh, thanks, Missy. Thank you so much for being here and being part of the community. I do want to leave you guys on this note. As I just said, you guys, most of you know that I'm actually a journalist, an entertainment reporter. And a lot of you guys message me with tips and leads and things that you've heard or things that you've seen. And I just want to tell you this. I'm not going to report on something that I don't have the receipts on. And there are a lot of bloggers out there that are going to run with the story without the receipts. So I'm not saying I'm the only one that, has journalistic integrity. But what I'm saying is that sometimes you can't really believe everything that you see, everything that you read, everything that you view, because sometimes that person is doing it for the wrong reasons. They're doing it because they want popularity, they want the likes, the views, and all of that stuff. And I'm here to tell you that I will never be that person. I will never be that person. If I don't know it for a fact, I'm either going to tell you, this is what I heard, and I don't have the receipts for it, which is rare. I rarely do that, but sometimes I do that. But if I have the receipts and I can back it up and I've researched it and can support it on my own, then you're going to know that this is a true story. Because at the end of the day, you want a true story because anyone can say anything about anything. And I was the victim of that this year. A bunch of online trolling, a bunch of bloggers saying that I had done some things that I had not done, and they had not reached out to me to find out if it was true or not. They just went with it. And you can wreck someone's life with your words. And especially online where that shit lives forever, it's just not okay. And that's not how I live my life. And that's not how I think other people should live their lives, but to each their own. So at the end of the day, I just want to let you guys know, just remember that everything you see and hear and read, it may not be backed up and it may not be true. And I think that there's a responsibility for those of us that are reporting on things to report with accuracy and integrity. And that being said, I'll see you guys all tomorrow, Wednesday. Bring wine. Bye for now.